Hello everyone, and welcome back to this seventh session of Puzzle Rush. And yeah, it's been a long day, and also it's been very long that we streamed last. I think I don't exactly remember the sixth session of Puzzle Rush, but the last video I think that I uploaded was about Brilliance Zonical Tal. But yeah, let's get back to solving puzzles. Let's get back to the tactical approach, and yeah, let's enjoy the tactics in this session. So yeah, as usual, I will just quickly start with solving the easy ones, and as we progress, we will certainly get some nice tactical shots. Okay, so what do we have here in the first puzzle? It's bishop to f6 attacks the queen, but of course there's a mate on f7. Queen captures on f7 as a mate. Rook captures on b8 is a mate. Rook captures on f1 is a checkmate. Okay, this is just a pack rank, so we can quickly have a checkmate here. Rook captures on e1, rook captures on f7 is checkmate. Just yeah. Okay, the rook on e1 is hanging, so queen captures on e1 with a checkmate. So first, as you all know, first quite I think 2025 puzzles are very simple, and we'll just get off them pretty quickly. Okay, so the king has nowhere to go, so rook to b7 should be a checkmate. A knight captures on f8. The bishop covers the e2 square. That means queen to h2 followed with queen to h1 is going to be a checkmate. Queen to h2 is a checkmate in this puzzle. There's this and this. Pretty simple idea. Now there's knight e2 with a check, and rook captures on d1 with a checkmate. Okay, now the king is smothered. As you all can probably see, knight captures on d6 is a checkmate. Okay, the bishop slices all the way here. That means that queen f6 check seals the game for us. Okay, the rook covers entire second rank, so rook to h3 should be a checkmate. Knight to h4. Of course, now I think there is bishop c5. That should be winning for me, right? Yeah, that is winning. Okay. Yeah, now the king seems to be trapped. The g1 square is covered with the knight, so rook to h2 check, followed with king to f1. But then what do we have? Oh, then we have rook h1 check followed with rook g1 checkmate. Of course, there is this, but then I have knight h3 with the check, so that should be winning. Okay. Now check, and now it's knight h3 with checkmate. Okay. G captures on e5. Mm. I can take the rook, right? If he takes here, yeah, that's a bit of a calculation, but I think that should be winning for me. Rook e8, f7 check, I just take, I come back, and that should be winning. If queen e6 check is okay. Now I think this should be winning for me. Or king f8. I'm not sure. If king f8, pawn takes on g7. Sorry, pawn takes on f6. If king h8, still there is pawn takes on f6. What am I missing? Yeah. The problem with streaming after a lot of days is you lose the control of your mouse. I mean, now I'm just finding up the control. Yeah. Okay. Queen to e6 is played. Mm, I still assume that this is much more safer if you take. Of course, there is not rook e8 after that, and that is something that concerns me, of course. But the king will at least be safe on g8, so like I can probably just, uh, maybe queen d6. That should be winning, right? Queen d6, maybe queen captures pawn f7. Not that clear. Okay, rook f6, rook e8 check wins the game for him. Rook e8, knight g5. That should be actually winning. I'm pretty sure about that, but I'm just thinking why king f8 is not winning. King f8 looks much more better. If he captures this with d6 and okay, but then there is queen e7 check, right? Yeah, and then I think this is right. Okay, a lot of time to waste on the 15th puzzle. This seems simple. Just check, and this is a checkmate. Okay, now for this, I think queen f6 check and knight e7 is a checkmate. Ah, yeah, this is just something that I didn't miss. Knight captures on c3. Now I have knight to g5, followed with queen h7. Is there any difference for that? Of course not. I don't think there is any difference. Okay, now I think this and this should be the game. That was simple. Yeah, just knight c7 and rook d8. Okay, now I think I just have this and this. That should be winning. Okay, queen c4 is a mate. Thank you. Yeah, I have a check. King comes to c7. But what next? Okay. d8 check. King c7. Um, what's the combination? Yeah. When you play chess after a lot of days, you kind of have some blind spots on the chessboard. So yeah, this is one of that kind. I can of course not take this. I don't seem to have the privilege of taking that because then he has pawn takes on c7. Mhm. Yeah, then he has pawn takes on c7. So that should be not a problem. Mhm. Okay. I think the PH should be still winning. King d7, queen check, queen c6. Oh look, I have rook d1. You see, these are some kind of blind spot that we often have in the game of chess. Okay. Yeah. Now I presume bishop captures on f6 is winning. There's no doubt about that. Right? Okay. King to a7. Just nice. Okay. F queen e3 check and knight c7 check. That should be winning. Uh, yeah, this is good move, but I think I'll check. King, if the king goes back, then king g3 is mate, and if it takes, then I have check king here, check and mate. So that should be winning. Um, yeah, queen c7 is just like mate in one. Okay. Mm, yeah, this is straightforward. Just bishop captures on e5 wins me the piece, right? That's simple. Um, yeah, now the fact is I have rook captures on d7 with the check, then rook to c1 with the check, now rook to f6 with the checkmate. I can just push, right? Push, and push. Okay, yeah, I missed this. But now I have this and this, and that should be the king. Now I have king c5 and push. Okay, knight to e6. Well, now I think this is winning because knight f3 can be made with rook captures on f3. So that's not a problem for me. Okay, this is pin, so queen captures on g3 is checkmate. Okay, this is simple. I think this is the name. Okay, knight to g4. Mm, I think I should be winning. But how? Okay, this knight gets trapped, right? After queen g5, the knight. Oh, there is a knight. Oh, what am I doing? That's not the way, Aditya. Hmm. That's of course not the right approach, but I think queen h4 should be the right approach. Knight e5, minutes rook captures on e5. And there is not a way to defend the knight. I think if you play something like this, then just rook e7 and stick him on the spot. Uh, yeah, but this is losing 7 check, rook h4 check, rook h checkmate. Mm-hmm. King goes to h1. Uh, yeah, but I think rook captures on f5 instead. Rook captures on f5, pawn captures e4. If you of course cannot take because yeah, then I have queen f3 and this is mate. And if you don't take, if you go queen f1, then this is I'll just win a piece in the matter, right? Mm, yeah, that seems to be winning. Rook captures on f5, e4, now queen g3. That was quick. Okay. Uh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Just check something. Yeah, now I think rook captures on f2 is a checkmate, so I will have first queen captures on f3 and then there is no defense against this. But is this puzzle so simple? I mean, when such puzzles get it at when you're at 37, then I really feel a bit feared because you're about to miss something more. But I think that was just simple. Sometimes thinking less is more important. Okay. Yeah, Queen H5 check seems to be winning. This check also seems correct, but then King E7, Knight F6, Bishop D7 is the only problem. So I think this is right. This is right. This is right. Okay, this is just Rook B3 and Queen D5, right? I hope I'm not missing it. This is good, but what do I have here? No, I think I have Queen G2 check. And now after King C3, maybe there is maybe there is knight f3. Oh, there is this. There is queen back to c6 check and now you pick up the queen. That was a good one. Uh yeah, now king d2 allows king a3 and king b2 as a escape square. So I think you don't go with a check first. But if you go king c2, then d3 check forces you to go to 2. So I don't want that either. Okay, but that does mean that I have to go king d2. That does threaten something? No, that doesn't threaten. Okay, king b2 and pawn push is a checkmate. Yeah. Okay. Using the square rule, the king is in the square and the pawn is in the third rank, so only one push, so king c6. You just don't need to calculate all these things. The king is certainly going to pick up the pawn, so that's not a problem. And his pawn is certainly going to push. But the problem is now I get opposition if I take the b4 pawn, and then that should be winning for me. So king c5, king c6, keep on repeating till you get the opposition in front of your pawn. That was a quick recap of the theory. Okay, now I have queen to c3, possibly going for checkmate. And bishop f7 check is a problem for me because, well, I don't think I can go queen d7 because of queen g4. And if I go king d8 or king f8, then that should be not good. So is there anything else? I mean, I'm thinking of something like bishop captures on f3 if I get rid of the c4 knight, so knight e3 maybe. But then you also are going to lose the bishop. He's going to have the captures on f2 at disposal. Okay. Mm, well, I think this is winning. I don't see any other counterplay. Captures on g4, that should be winning. And if he goes bishop f7, king f8 and king g8. both are quite good. I mean, King F8. Not sure if that is the case. There's still a mate, right, on F7. So like if he takes on G4, bishop takes on G4. Uh, what do you do? Okay, then maybe he will have something else in his mind. But still, there is the check threat. Mm, not quite sure. I mean, the sixth sense tells Queen G3 is a winning move, but I'm like a bit confused. Okay, but that a winning move. Uh, yeah, it should be the winning move. Knight e3, Queen F3 is the problem. And once the queen arrives on F3, yeah, you are yourself going to get checkmated. So I think Queen G3 is the winning. Bishop F7 check. Yeah, this is something I assume. Now King E7 is don't know if that is also working. What may be the refutation? The problem is I'm not able to see a refutation for this. Like, is that Queen G4? Oh no, there is Bishop G5 and H captures on G4. Oh yeah. That's the problem behind King F8. The edge captures on G4 move is something that forces it to go Queen G8, and now Bishop captures on G4 is winning. Okay, yeah. Mhm. Apologize for some delay in the vision of tactics because I'm certainly doing this puzzle rush after many days. Okay, but now I'm certainly not rusted enough to, sorry, not rusted enough to not see Bishop A6 check. Bishop A6 check, King E8, Queen E2 is mate. Is this a puzzle? This means this checkmate, right? Oh, okay. That was a bonus puzzle. Thank you. Um, okay, now knight takes g5, knight e7, knight d5 does look good, but it actually gains nothing. Right. So maybe if you change the order, if you take this first, then you take this, then you probably go knight e7. Check. Even that will not work because of this and this, so you lose an exchange, but maybe you probably go rook captures on the check first, and then after rook captures, then you can go this. I think that should be it. Okay, he first goes with rook e8 check, but now just knight back to e4, sorry, preserves the piece from it, right? Mm, yeah, this, this, and knight e3. Okay. Um, okay, rook captures. This puzzle really gave me a really bad feeling about you know, the puzzle rush entirely because this is something that deserves a 1300 rating and doesn't deserve a 2400 rating at all. Okay, yeah, let's come back. Hmm, just a minute. Yeah. Hmm. So let's come to this puzzle. Okay, you have Lightfoot Bishop, which makes sense. It does make me complete sense to go this and this rather than that. The problem being there are no more checks except d2. So queen e3 check, queen goes here. Sorry, not like that. Queen to e1 is of course prohibited. So queen to c1 has to be played. And after queen c1, the problem is how do you continue after queen a6 or queen b5? Because if he goes king g1, then I think this is just crushing. I'm winning after that. But the problem is he is going to go with one of these moves and successfully defend position. So I'm just trying to figure out what's wrong. checking. Okay, maybe it's queen e3 check, king h1, and then maybe I have this tricky bishop c4. And the problem is you can't take, and you don't have anything else too. Like you don't have any checks, you don't have defending the bishop. The only move possible is queen a1, defending the bishop. Uh, but then I have nothing. Check, king h1, queen c1, queen b5, c4, queen a1. How about queen check? Then over here, then queen f2, threatening the bishop. And if you move the bishop, then I have bishop d5, and you get checkmated on c2. And if you don't move the bishop, that means that you will certainly need to play one of those queen a6 or queen b5, and then I have c4. The problem is now you cannot take back with the bishop because there are going to be threats. I think that is the winning idea. Yeah, now c4. And that is winning. Captures on c4. This captures on c4. That was a quick one. Mm, yeah, this is good, but I think I have h5 check. If you go here, there's rook c3 and c5, and if you don't capture this rook c3 and smith again. Okay. Uh, knight to e5. Well, I think I can take the knight very well, and then rook e7. I'm not sure if that is winning. I assume this is not winning because then the queen doesn't get enough play. Because after that, something like king d2, bishop e6, mm, not quite fruitful, right? Hmm. This queen b1, queen c2, for king here, this queen c2, king 3. Also, I don't want the king to run away more than that. So, okay, but king c3, then I have queen e5. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So the queen has to be here. Uh, that does mean that I will need to go bishop e4 check. If c3, then I have this and this, which just wins me the game. If king f1, by the way, then I have rook f7 check, maybe. And if this, then I have queen d1 check. If king f2, then I still have rook f1 check. Knight f3. It's quite annoying. I mean, after knight f3, there's no particular explanation for that. Because there is, of course, not queen d4. The bishop on e7 is looking at d4. So I don't think that's a feasible option. Um, okay, but if he goes back with the knight also, then he has a single piece for the rook. Hmm, I don't think is enough, but okay. Captures in here, captures. Hmm. Here, Check. Oh, wow. And after this, I have this. Hmm. There are some ideas that really, get you going out and way out. I think this is right. Yeah. And now I have queen c3 check. The problem is I have missed queen c3 check and queen e5. And that is excellent resource. Okay. That was a good puzzle. Yeah. That was the first good puzzle of the station. Yeah. Let's hope that we have some more. King g7, nicely blocking. Wait, what? You see, I'm again hallucinating if rook e7 is statically winning, right? King here. What is this puzzle? Rook e7, king f6, queen f7, king f8, queen f. Oh, yeah. Excuse me for that. I think that even this one is pretty awkward. Queen g4. I mean, there's only one move that is played, queen g4. If you go here, then there is rook h3 checkmate. That means that you are forced to capture, and that does mean that rook f4 is winning after that. It has to be. Like you can go here because of this, and if you capture, then I have queen captures again, threatening some things. And wherever you go, there's queen f7. If you go here, then still there is queen f7. After this, there is queen f8. What is this? I mean, this is winning, right? Oh, simple. Okay. Uh, oh, this one is an excellent puzzle. I mean, the moment I saw this, I think I'm a big fan of d6 check. And the fact being a d6 check, if rook f7 is not played, if king h8 is played, you have this brilliant. I think this is also winning. Even this is winning because of this and a checkmate. And there are thousands of things that are winning on the spot after that. But I think the most probably the best winning approach is with that. I don't think takes will be winning because after this, then the queen guards and the queen guards here also. So I don't want him to get a chance. And if knight e5, yeah, it is okay, just allowing more trades. The only reason I'm not first sacrificing this because rook f7 is possible, so I don't want to give a chance. I think d6 check, king here, queen captures on h5, and I am up a piece, right? With a knight attack and with a checkmate trade. Okay, so that means you have to recapture afterwards, and even that should be winning for me. Mm, maybe I should have something for that. The fact is, I'm not able to find continuation to finish part. That's the problem. Hmm. How about first going bishop e5? With the knight f6 is there. So d6 check, king goes back to f8, to h8, and now you're planning not to take, suppose. Hmm. Even taking wins me the piece, right? What is the need of going finish five? I'm not able to figure out the exact motives behind the puzzle. I know that there is a mate here. I don't think there is just winning a piece. Uh, yeah, there is d6 here. King g7. Okay, I mean this is what I did not even consider because now the pawn takes on e7 and I'm a piece, right? What am I missing? Do I need to go bishop e5? 55, knight f6, and then I take and knight e5. I don't think that's it. That is the way. I don't think that bishop e5 required. Or is it? Oh, is it required for knight takes f4, bishop, rook takes f4, and bishop takes? Oh, oh yeah. Now I realize. The bishop e5 is required just to stop knight takes f4, and then you take this. Oh, and that was wrong. Sometimes you conclude something so well, and that just proves that you're still not at par. Okay, rook to a1. Just bishop captures on d7 should be good, except for the fact that he can hang up to q2, but then I have a check, and I pick up that knight too. So you can have rook captures on d7, but then I pick up this knight, and you can have knight captures on d7, but then I pick up the rook. Hmm. So what is the reason behind this puzzle? There are some puzzles that are completely pulling me off. I mean, I just don't get what's the motive. Okay, he has rook b7, but then he loses this. He has rook a2, but then he gets a check, and I pick up the knight for free. Oh, that's a bad day. Okay. Uh, Certainly you see the deterioration in the vision if you don't play Puzzle Rush for not a couple of months, for a steady 6 months straight. Okay. Now knight e3 check, king here, queen checkmate, king f2, mm-hmm. Again knight g4 check, king goes here, king e2 check, king rook f2, again knight e3 check, king here, and queen g4 mate. At least my sight is very nice. Ah, I mean, yeah, I'm still able to sight things up, but it's a bit slow. Okay, the queen goes to g7, the king goes here. That means h5 is nice. Is a nice trap. So maybe we can start with h5, and then after king captures on h5, we can prove the superiority of the positions. Maybe like knight e6 check. If the king goes back, uh, there should be something of and mm, maybe you can go knight f7 check. There's again there is no king h4, there is only king g6. Then you have knight check check, king h7, and then there are no more checks. Hmm. Oh wait, no, I have knight e6 and queen g7, queen g5. Right? Okay, he sacrifices a knight, but that's not of any use. Just check, check, and check. Okay, that was simple. Uh, I think the arrows may not depict this that right, but yeah, that was just funny. You can believe. Okay. Now I think something with c6. Yeah, c6. If bishop takes, and you lose this. That's the problem. If this, then you lose the queen. Not just like that. Just with queen captures on g5. Okay, makes sense. And if queen captures, then you then what? Hmm. Okay, maybe then knight d4 is the attacking the queen, queen back to d7, and maybe then pawn takes f5, knight takes f5. I don't like these slow plans. I mean, these puzzles, when they are too lengthy, they become very difficult to calculate. That's what differentiates the 2400 from 2200. Um, but I think c6 is still winning because queen capture on c6, knight d4. I have great confidence on this variation. And queen back to d7, knight takes on f5. I mean, I've just picked up 2 pawns for no reason. Is there anything I should know more? Mm, I don't think so. That should be winning. Knight takes d4. First is not option. Pawn takes f5 is not option. Queen d6 is useless. c6 is only move. Okay, it takes it. And now knight captures on d4 is the only move. I don't think there is anything else that is keeping me off from winning. Yeah, queen d7, that also makes sense. Knight captures on f5 now. Should be good to win. Anything I'm missing here? Maybe something like rook captures on b7? No, not yet. Knight f3 is bad. Okay, that was simple. You see that that position was not clear-cut winning, but it was a bit of positional play after the tactics get over. So this is something that really helps you improve your rating. Okay, now I have this puzzle. This is a tricky one. Queen captures on. There's of course a check and checkmate threat, so I can't afford to waste more time. Then he will not even need the rook, so there's no point pinning the rook there afterwards. So the problem is, do I go here with a check, which I think is the right option because king f1 rook check, king here. Um, maybe rook d8 with a check. Yeah, king f6 and captures here. And that should be at least a winning game for me. Queen c6 check, rook c7, and although I'm not sure if that is winning because this and I'm not sure yet, but yeah, that should be winning. Queen c6 check, even king b8 and queen check. Oh, that is yeah. So that is one of the options, but he does have bishop e2, and then I'm certainly not playing the game. So queen captures on d1 has no other options. King f2. And now, a very good important thing to note is queen captures on c2 or rook to d2 with a check. I think rook d2 doesn't help because after captures, there's no point getting a potential. So the queen captures on c2 has to be the only option. And then after if king goes back, then there is a back and checkmate. But if the king goes forward, there is a completely checkmate. And yeah, for just a quick recap for all of you, I'm analyzing queen captures on d1, king f2, queen captures on c2, king e3, rook to d3 checkmate. And if king goes back, rook to d1 with the checkmate. And if king goes to c3, that is something that I am concerned of. There is going to be queen c6 check. Um, is there any difference from the queen on c2? Is possible. No, there isn't. There isn't. So rook to d2 check seems to be the only option. And after capture screen captures, I think that should be winning because I have two buzzer pawns on the queen side, so I don't think that is a problem for them. Okay, this is the first move, that's for sure. Now the second move is not queen capture on c2 because of king g3. And this queen d4 also, which is not that great. I don't think that queen d4 is so much of a move to be considered. But it's certainly better than this because it has still an option is coming back. But what's used if the position is equal? Hmm, that we can say even after people check takes six, position still becomes equal. Hmm. Maybe the right option is not to go for the rook, just go with the check and just go come back 26. I think that's the right option. Uh, I don't see anything else winning here. Then why just not come back, right? I mean, that's as good as saying that. Hmm. And that's a good example of a blind spot also because Queen C2 and Queen A4 is a nice idea. And I did miss it. I think I did miss it. Okay. Now this is of course on checkmate. Yeah. I'm not going to play rook D2 and then drop the rook like on the plate. It's clear cut Queen C6 at this point. Okay. Uh, that was a good one. Kind of wasted a lot of time thinking about some hallucinated calculations. Okay, now I have pattern F2, which has to be certainly stopped. There's bishop F6, which is a very nice move that not only just stop here, there's also threatens checkmate here. And if you go here, then I have rook F7. That is again a brilliant move. So I think that is winning. Sometimes you just see things. Now, this was a 3000 a puzzle, and you just see things like that. And sometimes you miss up things in a 27, 2600 puzzle for nothing. So that's something that I feel on about players from 2100 to 2300. They are good, but they are not the best. Okay. Now the fact is, I think Queen e4 check should be winning. Bishop f3, Queen e1 check seals up the game. And if you go Queen to f3, then then you may have a problem. Mhm. Why not Queen f2? Just seal up the game like that. Oh yeah, Queen f2 is winning, right? Queen f2, Bishop f1, rook captures on e1, PC. Queen f2, bishop f3, rook captures on e1, so you can't move the bishop, you can't move the rook because you lose the bishop, and you can't move the queen because there is rook captures on e2. Oh, if you capture, then I capture, I'm up a piece. If you capture, then there is bishop c2, and if you capture, then there is queen f3. Oh, that was simple. Okay, thank you for the piece. King to f8. Now, does look good. Mm-hmm. There is 53 at check, there is picking up this, and you lose this, and I'm down three pieces, so I don't think we should go for anything like that. But this is also risky because there is a battery coming up. So queen h5, h5 check, rook c7 checks. Very little amount of time you may have seen something like that. Queen h6, and you are threatening a discovered check. Meanwhile, you yourself get a discovered check, and finally the result is nothing. So that's not something that we need to do. Um, Maybe rook captures on c7, rook captures on e3, pawn captures on e3, and I'm getting three pieces for a rook, which I don't think is the right option to go, but there's no other option, right? For at least for now. I can try to get the knight. I can just try. I don't have enough time because this knight is going to get back. This bishop is also right after king d7, something like this, and I will be in a danger. Hmm. But the rook can't go to the queen side. If you see, the pawns are blocking the rook from the queen side. Play. So queen a3 checkmate with a variation. King e8 is forced. Then I have rook g8 with a check. Maybe, yeah, after king captures, you have this. King f7, you have queen f8 with a checkmate. King e7 is not possible. You have to go only with king to d7. Then I have rook g7 with a check. If you go here, you lose the queen. If you go here, then you have a checkmate. Oh wow. So accidentally I found out the right option. Oh, and I take my words back. Okay, so what did I miss? Knight captures, rook captures on f7 with a check. King here, rook b7 with a check. And then king c6. Well, there you go. The problem is after you take the queen, king captures, you don't have sufficient amount of material. There is queen c5 check, knight c6 comes back. There is queen g3, but then still knight c6 defends the rook, and so I will certainly be falling short of material. So let's see the puzzles in order of in which we got wrong. But yeah, that was a good session. 57 puzzles after a long break. Does kind of disheartened me a bit, but okay, what else can you expect more? Okay, I'm just joking. We can certainly expect more. There was much simpler approach, right? This is like the best ever blind spot one can ever get. Okay, this one was not in our rush. Okay, and now this would be seven is wrong. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, don't ask me why I didn't get when I was solving the rush. It's just the term that I use. It's a blind spot. Okay, this one was again wrong. D6 check. What did I miss here? Yeah, I thought too much about this, but I think I just missed this. The thing that I couldn't figure out was 95, and yeah, it just defends f4 bishop, so there's no need to play bishop e5 check. Yeah. Okay, so three simple puzzles not done in today's rush, so I'm not quite happy, but okay, yeah, I mean, solving 57 puzzles after many days. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the puzzles that we got in today's puzzle rush, and yeah, see you guys soon in the next puzzle rush.